Sorry we're late.
We didn't want to be here.
Oh shit, I forgot we did this podcast thing now, and I just started day drinking, but okay.
So what you're saying is the one podcast made you start day drinking. This is your new hobby?
Well, you know, no one used to have a video before checking in on me, so it was just me, my wine, and some reality TV. Now it's me, you, the world, and maybe my wine and some reality TV.
So you're a red wine girl, I can see.
Today.
Well, I'm Acid Betty, and you may know me from stage, screen, and this podcast.
Hey. And I'm V, and you've never heard of me before.
Until now.
Yes, hi. Nice to meet you.
We are the real life brother and sister who are both totally obsessed with all things reality TV.
Welcome to our weekly reality rundown, where we try to talk about all of our favorite shows, which is basically impossible because they're all our favorite shows.
And even though we might think that we are the experts, because we are, everything we say really is just our opinion. It is coming from our buttholes and nowhere else. And it should not be taken seriously. This is all meant for entertainment. And if we say some shit about somebody, please don't go to their Instagram and write stuff about them as if you have knowledge that no one else has, because you didn't get knowledge from us. We're just gossiping. We're gossip girls here.
Yeah,
right?
And we have no knowledge whatsoever. Even if we had knowledge, we would forget about it and not tell you. So that's our team.
We're just dumb fangirls. Oh my god.
Hello! Hi, fangirls.
So, we are starting a new little segment that we're calling What's on Your Feed. I just made that up. Maybe we'll change the name. And V, did you want to talk about what's on your feed, or do you want me to go first?
What is on my feed? Well, talk to me about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, which I will be honest, sorry I was late to that party, because I didn't really pay much mind. What?
Yeah, I hate to interrupt, but I found it to be kind of boring. So I would chime in and I was kind of like, these are new girls, I'm not really into it. And then I saw online, this is like my feed, sorry to interrupt, and I did start seeing these references, and it was SLC, and then you, V, you informed me of what was happening.
Yeah.
What happened at the reunion or something?
Well, I caught a marathon one day, and I just stayed in for some reason. Everything in my body was like, stay in, let's get to know these girls. And I stayed in until the finale. And boy, oh boy, it turns out that one of the cast members, one of the women that are intimately involved with everything, is actually behind a troll account, Reality Von Teese. And if that's at all familiar, it's because she was responsible for getting someone arrested last season, Jen, of the Salt Lake City girls. She's in jail.
So not only is she a troll, which I kind of love, I actually troll, as a side hobby, but she got someone in jail. That's deep.
Yes.
And you told me, though, when they came up to her or basically revealed that it was her, she basically just sat in it and was like, yeah, it's me.
So unbothered.
Any questions, right?
So
unbothered. Do you have any questions?
And girl, let me tell you, the reunion last night, the part one, again, so not bothered. There was a few things that people said that she literally was laughing. She couldn't help her. She just could not help herself. She was laughing at them. Well, I was just going to say there are two more parts to this reunion. So I think they're not even getting into it yet. It's going to get real good.
Oh, it's a three-parter?
Yeah,
it's another three-parter?
Of course.
So it's like 6 hours total of reunion?
Yes, and let me tell you, I heard two, how I collect insults, I love a good insult, and I'll try to mentally remember them just in case I get to use them. Boy, oh boy. So last night there were two. Someone called someone a bench-warming bitch. I was like, that's good. But the other one was a trampoline with eyes, which I had never heard of.
And she said you should take that as a compliment, because that means you have tight skin.
I love that. That's so Snuffleupagus would take that as a compliment because he was my best friend. No, what's on your feet, girl?
Well, what's kind of probably obvious is, even though I don't watch the show, I was on RuPaul's Drag Race,
Don't tell
and so
people
I
that.
obviously get all the information on my feed, and I just, I find out what's going on through like Instagram and Facebook, really. So basically, this podcast, when you're watching or listening to it, we're basically 2 weeks behind, if you will. But I'm giving kind of like my predictions or what I think is happening from my personal experience. And I want to say that because I don't. Yeah, well, the thing, to be honest, and the thing is, like, I don't really know these girls. I don't know, actually, any of them. So, I don't know any of them. I don't think I've heard of any of them. And I've not seen any of the episodes. So, I have no information except these small cliplets that I see on Instagram. And also the cast, the cast,
the promo stuff.
Yeah. And here's my thing. Is I didn't see the last All-Stars at all. And all I saw was the promo picture. And this is why I'm doing this now. And when I saw the promo picture, all I said was, one of these girls is not like the other. And that's Jimbo. And I was like, that has to be the winner. Because she's a Canadian. She has to be sponsored. What is she doing here?
And so I foretell, I can feel a prediction coming.
Right. So, as a fan of drag as well, I feel like the people or the fierce people that are like really changing up or kind of getting my interest are actually on Dragula.
Okay, which I know.
Is another competition show.
Yes.
And I've really found that a lot of those people that are on that show right now are really... Whoa, did you hear that? That was my dog. A lot of those people on that show are really...
She said me too!
Yeah, they're like really... innovative and like I find very interesting. So with that being said, when I look at the new cast, again, just the cast photo and maybe the promo video, there's one queen that's not like the others. And usually that's what people said like about me, and they're like, oh, Betty, you're the different one. So this is why I have like a two-part. So this one queen, I'll tell who it is, it's Dawn. If Dawn is not like an Betty or a Milk or whatever character where they're just not like the art queen, either they'll get rid of her halfway through or whatever, or from what I've seen, the edit is very much like, oh, you're so quirky and strange, ha ha ha, that is so funny, and they're giving her like the Evie Oddly Willow Pill edit, and so I kind of feel that if they don't kill her early, Dawn is gonna win it just because I feel like she's the only one that's not like all the others. I know that's it.
Or she might kill herself. That has been done as well.
Yeah, but from the energy that she's giving, she's having a really good time. And they're just giving her really, they're just putting it together with laughter and making it.
So they're being nice to her right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very reminiscent of like a kimchi.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they're giving her special sound effects and things like that.
They're not giving her own soundtrack when she's ever on screen.
Yeah. When she turns, it was like, it's like she got magical sound effects and things. Like,
she doesn't get a violin when she's telling her backstory?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen it. It's possible. She might have her own like theme song by now. I could be wrong. And lastly, there was maybe something on your feed that you wanted to talk about. A new show that we have not mentioned yet. Oh
gosh, The Surreal Life. That was filmed apparently in 2022. That's the date. But I'm catching it on Paramount Plus now, and I am so kind of like hungry for reality TV all the time. I can't imagine that it's been there the whole time, and I'm just discovering it now. So I hope I'm not the only one that's late to this show. But it is. It's turning out to be really good, and I mean, geez, Dennis Rodman, Tamar Braxton.
I love.
Oh, and I can't remember. Oh, Freddie, whoever, the guy who played Malcolm in the Middle, he's on there.
Oh, yeah.
You've got Manny, the makeup artist, and he's turning out to be a real sweetie patootie, which you don't usually find. And everyone's very open and sharing of themselves, and everyone's like really emotional. Dennis Rodman is crying.
Is there a Tammy Faye Baker character? Is that her name? Tammy Faye Baker.
Well, there isn't a Tammy Faye. Let me think.
I remember when she was on The Surreal Life, and she was very like, I can't do this, I can't do that, for all of her religious things.
No, but I do think that they were expecting some explosive moments from people. They're surprising them because a lot of these characters, like a Tamar or a Dennis, I mean, we're getting old. And they speak to that. Like, before I used to ABC. Oh my gosh, I'm not even mentioning the biggest Kiki. Stormy Daniels is on the show.
Oh.
And she speaks like,
nice.
Boom, she walks in the door 5 minutes, she's talking about Trump and his dick. It's good TV.
Well, it's what people want to hear.
And that's what she speaks to. She's like, oh my God, that's all people want to know. And then you get to know Stormy. You know, it's like, hey, you get to know Stormy Daniels, the other side. I'm liking the show. It's cute.
All right, well, you'll have to keep us abreast.
Yeah, because as soon as I get an opportunity, I will be binging the rest of it.
Yeah, and I will let you all know if I have anything else to say about RuPaul's Drag Race Season 16.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
That's
so crazy.
A lifetime for some of the people that are going to be on the show.
And they just recently got a bunch of Emmys, so work it out.
I know. They're really kicking ass.
This season, we are talking about our favorite franchise, 90 Day Fiancé. And last week we kicked off with the season 4 premiere of The Single Life. 4 familiar singles, Chantel, Natalie, Tyray, and Debbie, have already started their dating adventures.
Today's episode, we're going to talk about episode 2. So basically, Chantel is still on the search for D, her Grecian god, in, of course, Greece. Natalie is out looking for apartments in Santa Monica, California, which seems very daunting. The entire episode is dedicated and named to Tyray's first ever date in his life as a 33-year-old man, so we're very excited for him.
All right.
And we know Tim is going to show up this episode, so we finally get to answer the question, is he a single or is he a cockblock? We're going to find out.
We are going to find out. So, as per usual, we start with our dream girl, Chantel, who is in not only Greece, I think we finally get the details, we're in Crete, Greece, which is we need to know where in Greece you are because there's 6,000 islands in Greece. So it's nice to know which one. And it's nice to know, I'd like to know which one because I live for Greece!
Greece,
anyway.
Call him.
And I found it interesting, I don't know if I caught it in the first episode, because I'm always on the production side. It was, so I have 2 production notes about this, which is funny, but the first one is, they start with like a picture of her and Pedro, and then they like rip it open, they like open it up.
Okay.
And then they do it again, like with Natalie and Michael, right?
Yeah.
But then, because I have to, since we're talking about it, when they do it with Tyray, they're like, like they don't really show it because it's not, they were never together. I know I'm jumping the gun, but we could talk about that. But it caught me off guard when I saw Pedro, to be honest, is why I'm mentioning it. Because I was like, the episode just started, and it's called The Single Life.
Okay,
and
so
I
guess maybe you missed it because they do that every episode. That's the actual standard intro. And I was going to say something about it last time when we spoke about how awkward. I get that that's how we as the audience, we know you, but to forever be associated as a couple. So it's like every time they start the show, here you are with your ex. And in Tyray's case, like here you are with some escort that you never really knew.
Tyray. I know, it's like a photoshopped image of them together, and it's like, anyway, so I just thought it was funny. So basically, Chantel and the friends, they go to like an olive oil making location company where they like press olives. It's very kind of, I hate to say, it kind of feels kind of set up for TV. And then there's like an actual, but there's like an actual, which is very typical of Greece, Greek god working there, because that's what happens in Greece. You just like, they're everywhere. And he says that he's gonna take them out to the club, where she meets. I know I'm jumping ahead. Where she meets another Greek guy.
I right away thought to myself, okay, this is a guy for her. Because he's a professional athlete. He speaks great English.
Yeah. What I thought was funny about the English, though, is that I noticed right away that he had an English accent, and I thought that was funny because I have a lot of foreign friends, and I had a lot of conversations about them deciding on which accent they're going to go with, an American or an English accent. And so he was kind of the first foreigner that I saw, this is weird, that actually chose the English one, but then come to find out, as it played out. But so I thought it was funny that he was like, oh yeah, I was in London for 3 years, and I was like, oh, okay. He has an English accent.
I've dated guys where English was their third or fourth language, right? But they have some funky accent. Like one of my boyfriends had a German accent, and he didn't live in Germany, it's just that his ex-girlfriend...
Okay, yeah. See, I find that's what I mean. It's always interesting.
So instead of really, he'd say "Reekly."
That's so funny. Yeah. So weirdly, his accent stuck out to me because I was just like, I thought that was right. Like very.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this episode, not much going on for Chantel. Good for her. You're dating. I mean, once again, she makes statements that are just absurd. You know, oh. I told him I was married before, and it didn't turn him off. Yeah, because he's not looking at you like I'm my future bride. He's thinking, good time tonight. Like, where is her head?
But yeah, but also the way she presented it was very much like a lie.
A long time ago.
Oh, that was so long ago.
Girl, you know what that reminds me of, right?
I'm not even thinking about it, and it doesn't even matter. But her face was like...
That reminds
me. It doesn't matter.
No, that reminds me of that.
Totally over it.
No, that reminds me of that girl that I heard that was like, oh, when my husband died 4 months ago.
I know, right? And his voice told me that I should move on.
Sure. Anyway, let us move on. That's a good transition. Let us move on.
And then my actual last note, basically, or what I thought was funny, which was like another technical note, which is totally stupid, but I think it's kind of funny, is when they're talking outside somewhere, they're sitting down, and the music, I think, is really loud where they are. But so they edited the sound, so they only turned up the sound when they're talking. You know, so they had the normal sound going while they're just looking at each other, and I don't know, I forgot, she would say little things like, oh, I would love that, and that's a great idea. But when the sound would turn on, you would hear, turn down for... What? And I was like, you cannot even hide that turn down for what song by Lil Wayne was playing behind them. It was just funny to me because every time they talked, you could hear like this really loud snippet of the song. It was very funny.
You gotta be impressed with those microphones, though.
Oh my God! Well, yes, the microphones are incredible.
We both know that
we have.
Well, this is not a television show. Those places are actually loud.
We're gonna have to get new microphones for this, for a podcast. We're gonna work on that. But yeah, their microphones are fierce. I just thought it was a stupid, funny thing. Did you have anything else to say about?
No, not really.
Yeah.
No. I think we should talk about Natalie. So Natalie goes out searching for apartments with Josh. And this is one of those situations where she hasn't actually obviously looked at cost of living for a city like Los Angeles.
We're going straight there. Right.
Well, what else is there to go? I mean, yeah, we could talk about the fact that she's playing her little girl games like, oh, I give him the silent treatment. Which, you know, I mean, I'm petty. So there was a 50% of me that was like, that's right, girl. But you can't do that when you're relying on the guy to give you, like, food and shelter. Yeah. And that's why you shouldn't be in a position like that. Because now you gotta put up with assholes.
He has 2 days.
Oh, there's just so much going on there. She's just
ignoring him.
She's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So then when they go to the apartment, of course I had to write it down because, you know, Santa Monica is my old neighborhood. And I almost fell off my couch.
I wrote it down too.
$21.50
you know,
for 600 square feet. Stop. And you saw where they were. They weren't in like the Santa Monica that we know.
I'm like, we're from LA, you're from LA, that was where you used to live. I moved to New York, I know New York prices. And when they said, I was like, okay, let me keep it. And I was like, what? To who? To hell? For a 1 bedroom.
No, and I'm telling you, you saw when she walked up. She's not in like the Santa Monica.
No, she's not in Santa Monica.
She's like, I'm not. Like the zip code might tell you Santa Monica, but anyway.
Well, you could tell by the apartment.
Well, I'm saying when she walked up. That's why I was blown away by the cost. And then when the agent was like, well, looks to Josh, well, maybe you would help her out.
As a guarantor.
And there's the truth of it right there. He's like, no.
Right. Yeah, see, my opinion, yes. I mean, I agree with all that, and I feel like he should be a guarantor or help her out, or just be like, if you don't find a place, you're living with me until I find a place. If he's serious, and you know what, but I don't think from the clips and everything, I don't think that he understands how serious she is. And if we dive into relationships, maybe he's been like cheated on or this and that. Maybe he is just taking her for how she is. And maybe her hot and cold is too much for him.
No, I think you're being very nice to him.
I probably am.
I think they're both selectively choosing not to see certain things.
Yeah.
So that he can have, what is that, a probable, like, deniability. There's an expression, right?
I think, though, yeah, if they're both serious, you have to just take chances, right? She took a chance. She moved there with her mom. Okay,
yeah,
great.
See,
and then he needs to take a chance. He needs to pay for it.
Yeah,
fucking pay for it.
He's the kind of guy that's literally going to say to her, and I almost predicted on a future episode, unless they wind up together. But that's the kind of guy that says to her, "You didn't move here for me. I told you not to move here for me. You had to move here for yourself."
Right. Oh, that was your risk. I could feel that coming on.
He's like out. He's really just kind of like, "Hey, I helped you out. What do you mean you can't afford $2,000 a month?"
Which is a lot.
Like, I'm driving a car. I mean, I don't know, whatever. He's ridiculous. I don't like the guy. I haven't liked the guy ever. I just feel bad that she just keeps...
Natalie.
Well, she's also like Boy That Cried Wolf, because she's like, "Oh, I punish you. You're bad." And then, no. It's like, girl, you gotta stand your ground. Like, literally, peace out.
Well, next up is our favorite guy, but it's focused on the girl. Veronica and Jamal. I'm including Jamal.
That's right, honey.
And then Veronica has a tumor. Tumor Tim. Tim the tumor.
It's not her golem? Or her...
Well, no. Well, we gotta give it an original name. So it's Tim the tumor. So I just find it interesting because I like women with that kind of personality. I would not necessarily call it independent woman. She called herself, I'm a very independent woman.
It's just so cliche. She's more than that.
But I don't call that independent because I know her. We know a little backstory, and the backstory is you refuse to have Tim leave because of your daughter. That's not independent. Independent would be like, buy a tiny Tim. I can see that you're an issue with me and my future boyfriends. You need to go. But anyway, so I don't know if she's independent. I think she's a strong woman. I think she does a lot on her own. That's how I would describe her. I wouldn't be like independent, because no.
No, codependent.
Not as long as you have a tumor.
Codependent.
Yeah, not as long as she has not as long as we know her because of of Tim, who is like the famous tumor.
Right.
So yeah, no. But anyway, we love Jamal. He's 27. She's 37. There's 10-year difference.
There's also a lot of miles between them. I didn't realize.
And they live very far apart.
Yeah.
We get a moment where they're driving Veronica. They drop Jamal off at the airport, and Veronica's driving Tim to a single mingle party. And my favorite line was...
I gotta speak and say, holy shit. Okay, so first of all, wait, let's go back. Because I didn't know how they met. I didn't know how Veronica and Jamal met. I literally, just small-minded me, I was like, oh, they probably met at one of these reunions or whatever, right?
Yeah,
but did you see how cute it was that he responded to some, like, cheesy facial mask?
It's the eyes.
I mean, he is so corny and fabulous.
Oh, I love him.
Like, I really hope that this makes it.
I think he needs to be the next Bachelor.
Second reaction to the episode and this whole situation with the three of them is, holy shit, I can't believe Tim is actually dating. Good for him. You're a miserable, cunt. But I'm glad you're dating.
Well, in the end, he ends up, dating. But in the car on the way to the mingle dingle, she says that it's in the best interest for Tim to be happy. Then everyone can be happy. That's a tumor. That's a tumor.
But but I think that's easy for her to say, because I think that he probably has tried to peace out with her a few times, and she's holding on to him.
I agree. So I don't blame him completely. Maybe I am just because it feels good. But yeah, I think it is hard. That's what I mean. For her to be like, I'm an independent woman.
We're just not huge fans of him, I think. That's all.
Yeah, because it kind of felt, It's true, because she won't let him go, and he's like, while I'm here, I'm going to, like, poison everything, basically.
When I wrote in my notes when I saw that he hooked up with that girl, Louisa, I wrote, you're so lucky that you have a pretty face. Because she...
I mean, he said she's out of his league, and I agree.
Totally. And, oh, my God, that pickup line, what's your skincare routine? Get the fuck out of here, Tim.
I wrote that too, and she's like, I don't have one, and he goes,
his face, I know. Skexy. He's so Eeyore. He is so Eeyore person. You would think that if you watch yourself on the show, like his season, which was Misery, and then you watch yourself on Pillow Talk, how you, like, if I was like this all the time, I would expect someone, please tell me, that I look like I want to off myself every episode.
He's also mad that Jamal doesn't have a job. He's like, well, if you're dating a guy that's on the couch all day with no job.
Okay, but see, now he's a judgmental prick, but he does have a point, because when they argue about that, like she tried to pull the I'm feminist, so how dare you, which I was with her on that until he made a valid point. Because you can't be of a certain age dating kids. Like when I dated this guy that was like a taco cook, right? I knew what I was dating. I didn't, like, there were no expectations of anything. If we were to end up together, it was just, that was it. That was going to be the guy. I would probably make more money than him for the rest of my life. But
Veronica is a grown woman.
But I'm saying, he's saying to Veronica, I know you and you're fooling yourself because you have a fantasy that someone is going to come in and pay for your bills and take care of you, and that's not the one. And maybe it is, but not now.
But she said that's not what I'm asking for, and he's never asked for anything, like any financial help.
Yeah, but I think that's a lie.
But Tim is looking down the line.
I think that's a lie, because we both know Veronica wants a man like that.
Well, who doesn't? Unfortunately, we did not skip over Debbie. 90 Day Fiancé did. Debbie is not in this episode.
No, Debbie's hanging out with alpacas.
Yeah, and making like pink outfits with a matching pink fan and a pink hat.
She's painting things and avoiding Osama.
But Osama is everywhere though.
Strange, beautiful.
We have the star of this episode, because it's kind of named after him, Tyray.
Tyray.
And Tyray goes on his first date.
Which I was so excited for. The whole episode is him getting ready, him buying all these roses. He goes to this amazing restaurant, and then you're waiting with him.
Yeah. And Tiffany stands him up.
Tiffany turns off her fucking phone.
So it's edited. Yeah, so it's edited that way. Do you think that maybe like the next episode she'll like come in with like her hair all tethered or something, like I got in a car accident or something like that? Because she was really into him.
I know. I don't know. I'm so confused.
Yeah, me too.
Some people can be really kind of like wishy-washy and weak in that they might create stories for themselves and talk themselves out of things and never actually give you a chance to clear it up. For example, I was thinking to myself, hey, maybe she was all excited about this guy and told her friends and family, and they were like, hey, don't you know about this guy? Look, he was on television. And then she was like, oh.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
That's possible.
That literally could be easy like that.
True.
I hope it was See, the thing is, like, unless you're actually unconscious, why aren't you texting or calling the guy?
Yeah, I think that was rude.
Like, your car broke down, text. Emergency text.
Hello. Have you ever been stood up? I had asked that.
Me? No.
Yeah, I have not.
No.
Neither have I.
Should we knock on something?
And I will I say, though, I had a boyfriend that was late a lot. And he was late almost an hour. and and it happened once, and I told him, this is never going to happen again. There's no way. And I was waiting on the streets of New York, so I was just standing outside. I was like, I'm not going to stand outside for you waiting again for an hour.
That's not happening. I don't do that.
With nothing.
No.
And we got cell phones and things like that now, so no.
I'm telling you, I had a friend that said that he was like outside of my condo once. And I know he wasn't. I know he was just lying to me on the phone multiple times, like throughout the day, saying, I'm here, making up this. I'm like outside with my dog, walking around all this complex, looking for this mystery card, never there. And it's been 20 years, and he still swears he was there. And I tell him all the time, let's not talk about it. If we're going to be friends, we can't talk about this because I know you weren't there. And I can't believe you're still holding on to this lie. So, I mean, that basically ties up the entire episode.
Our very first YouTube subscriber and our very first YouTube comment suggested, Miss Chantel suggested that we do Traitors 2.
Well, second season of Traitors.
Second season of Traitors, and our first commenter, first fan on YouTube, Mr. Littleville, we're gonna do it as I move my thing. We're gonna do a song where it hasn't aired yet. So we know we've been focusing on the single life, but we just found out that another awesome show is coming back for season 2. As you said, exclusively on Peacock, called Traitors. And we can't resist, right? We're going to talk about it. We're going to include it. We're going to probably split up the show like a little bit of half and a half. So we'll always keep the 90 Day Fiancé. And then we're going to like throw in some Traitors and all that shit. We're going to try to do it all, right?
A true melting pot of reality TV.
Yes, indeed. As it should be.
Yeah, as it was meant to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I know nothing about it. You know about the show. You've seen it before.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. You've seen the first season.
Yeah, because I'm a reality TV addict. I thought we were clear on this, so yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, tell you about
What can we expect? Yeah, what can we expect?
Well, it takes place at this amazing castle in Scotland. And the host is Alan Cummings, which he's fierce. And he dresses amazing. Like, you should probably just watch it just to see how they dress him. And I'm not even joking about that.
Okay.
He's amazing. And this cast is over 20 celebrities, athletes, all-stars, like reality people. It's a mishmash of everything, but 20 people that you should recognize. It's going to be crazy. And the personalities, it's a wide range. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how this plays out.
Is this the same as the first season?
No, not at all. I mean, I don't know if they're changing the setup of the show. But if you're familiar with old show, like from the 80s or the 90s called The Mole, and I do believe that they brought it back recently on Netflix. They did one season called The Mole. So you have an entire cast, but they select, as in the producers, select secretly a single person, or last season 2 or 3 people, that are your traitors. And they are actually working secretly against the rest of the group. So you're collectively working towards a goal of gaining a lot of money at the end to win, and then split it up with whoever's the rest. However, the traitor is working against you, knowing that if they can stand alone, they get all the pot and they share with no one. Much like The Mole.
And do the traitors move around, or is it always the same people?
From my impression last year, it was the same person unless they were found out. Of course, there was an interesting twist at the end in which there were 2 traitors and they were told to invite a third.
Oh, okay.
And that really fucked things up. Because you have 2 people that might really be of the same mind, working on the same strategy, or they have the same feelings about the same people, so they agree on who to get rid of or who to trick. And once you enter that third person, you have friction. And that's kind of what happened last time. But that was just a twist. I mean, these shows can go anywhere. This is only the second season. Who knows what they're doing? 20 people.
Did you want to talk to who's on the show at all? Because we have the cast list here. I actually know a few people.
Okay.
I mean, I personally know one, obviously. Peppermint.
Yes, we both know Peppermint.
Peppermint.
So we're already rooting for her, period.
She better win.
Yeah. That's just it.
So that's our number one girl, period.
Yeah, period.
And then I recognize, obviously, Johnny Bananas. He's the king of of competition reality.
I cannot get away from this
outside
man.
of Richard Hatch. But yeah, he's the king.
No, he's the king. Bananas is the king.
He's like the reigning king, like, if you will.
He everything he touches, he wins in the reality world.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how people keep letting him get away with it. It's just crazy. He must be very charming. Something must be going on in real life. Maybe he's a sorcerer. Necromancy? I am not counting that out with Bananas.
And I definitely know the Real Housewives of Atlanta. We have Phaedra Parks and Sheree. Is it Whitfield? I don't know how you say that. I love both of them.
Okay.
So
watching
all they need is like Nene and Portia, and I'd be good. But yeah.
Last season they had Kate Chastain, who is the chief stew from Below Deck. And she's quite a polarizing character. She is very much like a Real Housewife in that she's very confident and unbothered. And I feel as though by having Phaedra and Sheree on the show, you're like taking that feeling up like several notches.
Is going to mess with people.
It's going to be amazing.
She's a lawyer.
Oh, and
she loves to mess with people.
And she plays dirty.
I know. She's the one that was like, she had a lot of nasty things to say in her reunion.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of names here that tickled me, made me happy to see, unexpected, but the most kind of like, wow, surprising was the fact that there's a couple castmates from Love Island. You have one US and one UK, specifically Ekin-Su, shout out to Ekin-Su. I knew the second she came on to Love Island that she was something very unique and special. And here she is in the United States doing reality TV. I mean, kill it, girl. Because she's gorgeous, she's unique. Something's weird about her. Something good weird.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
I know, because Love Island is such a weird, obscure. It's basically just a bunch of really young, naked people running around saying, obviously, she's fit, obviously, 10 out of 10, obviously.
Okay. Obviously, it sounds amazing.
Obviously, you should, obviously. So yeah, we're very excited about Traders.
Yes, so we will be including Tratas and rooting for Peppermint all the way.
Yeah, girl, Peppermint. Oh, let's go. Come through.
Come on, Peppermint. That concludes that.
So, Acid.
What? Yes. Yes.
I know that last week I told you some crazy shit about this cuckoo Lala that lives across the street that, by the way, I have yet to catch her eye line, so she's still avoiding my gaze. Yeah. We're still pretending like we're somehow not connecting. But did you have something going on in your neck of the woods?
No, I don't know. Why would you say that? Well, I have a different kind of neighbor who,
different kind of neighbor.
Yeah, she doesn't, she likes to make eye contact, and she likes to drive by the house. She's like in the house, like I would say like 3 acres away from me. She's far away, her house. But for some odd reason, every time I'm outside in my yard, she drives up and she drives around slowly and starts yelling like, "Hey, hi!" So obviously, because I'm new to the neighborhood, I started talking to her. So she's just like hanging out in the car in the field. She drove by like 3 times, to be honest.
Did she want your autograph?
And then like the 4th. I don't know. See, I was kind of used to weirdos, so I was taking it like that, if you will. Not like, oh, she knows me, but there's a weirdo. And by the 4th time, yeah, she stayed in her car. And we talked about stuff, and she tried to invite me to go to BJ's with her. Yeah, she told me she was going down to BJ's. Is that like a grocery? It's a store.
Okay.
Wow. That's all I actually know. And all I said was, well, here's the thing, she's also a retired cop. This is what I got the information. I felt like I was doing ops, so I was trying not to share a lot of information. Like when people ask me what I do, if I tell them anything, I tell them like, oh, I'm in entertainment, because I don't want to know. I don't want to tell them much, because I do lots of things. I do production. I also am like on the front side, TV and stuff. So I don't want whatever. So I was listening mostly, and I know she's a cop. And so when she was like, "Do you want to get in the car with me?" and shit like that, I was like, "No." I got something at the house.
In fact, yeah, let me go tell my sister exactly where I am and who I was talking to and where you live.
Yeah, but so, I mean, she seems cool and alright. I just think it's kind of odd because I live, I would say, like in the middle of nowhere.
She seemed cool, except for she always appears out of nowhere, and now she's inviting you to go grocery shopping with her?
Yeah, and she actually, I should also say, if you want to know, which is why it's interesting, she knew a lot about the house because she was apparently friends with the previous girl that lived here. So she was telling me like everything she knew about the inside of the house and what she helped her do. And so I was just like, oh yeah, yeah, they had lots of cats. Oh, dogs, yeah. So she was very like kind of nosy. But I didn't tell her, because no one knows this, but I didn't tell her that I bought the house and the pipes were missing and the doors were like ajar and in the middle of the rooms, and there was like holes in walls from the dogs. So I didn't really share that information with her because I was so cure. But she seems alright.
She seems alright in my house. That she's living with no pipes. She's a hoarder.
Like the fact that she's very aware when I'm outside is very strange.
I would be okay with that.
Live in the middle of nowhere.
I'm highly paranoid, so yeah. All right, well,
I'll let you know.
I
don't think she's as strange as yours, but we'll see.
This one won't even let me find out how strange she is. I have to wait. But
it could be we're just really strange. Maybe like we're not. I feel like I'm pretty friendly. Maybe, I don't know.
I thought I was really antisocial, but she's like aggressively antisocial. I don't know what's happening there.
Tune in next week as we discuss episode 3 of 90 Day Fiancé, The Single Life. We finally get to catch back up with Miss Debbie, who lies about her age to snag some dates. She takes like 10 years off her age, from like 67 to 57.
That's a bit at that.
Yeah, no, saying you're 50s and not almost 70 is definitely something.
That's the difference between like Social Security and senior citizen and not.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, she a liar. Tim pursues women, not men, so there, at least we know that. Other than Veronica.
Oh, men will be so disappointed.
And Natalie's mom finally meets Josh, or as I would like to say, Josh finally gets to meet Natalie's mom.
Hello. Yeah.
And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we are officially introduced to a new cast member. Boston John.
Hey, Sparkles.
Yo, Sparkles. And I have a note here. Messy? We hope so.
Because we do. Somebody slap that motherfucker. Don't forget that we're also going to jump into the first episode of Peacock's exclusive show, Traitors. We're very excited about that.
So exciting.
Yes.
You can reach out via our website and let us know what you think, or what you want to talk about, how horrible our sound is or something, and we'll try to fix it. You can always find us on Instagram, YouTube, Threads, and our website. Our website is Sorry We Didn't Want to Be... Wait. Oh my god, I do it all the time. Our website is Sorry We're Late. We Didn't Want to Be Here.com.
You know what we need? We need one of those things where it says with bouncing ball. Sing with us! Sorry.
Yes, maybe I'll put that just for you guys. Sorry we're late. We didn't want to be here.com. Perfect.
Yes. And I'm Violet.
I am Acid Betty.
And as we always say, just because it's called reality
doesn't mean it's real.
Hey! Bing bong!
Oh my god, you see my arms?
Hello, goodbye.
Oh my god! I gotta like flex my muscles.
Do you wanna do it again?
Yeah, look at like loose. That is so
That's how long am I.
I'm gonna do that too. I'm gonna keep that in. We're gonna keep that in. I'm trying to make it really gross. Oh my god.